Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming out. I think everyone here, it's a testament to Jim Brandon and everything that he's done for our community for the last 25 years. Welcome to the Novi Police Department, and it's my honor and privilege to be able to preside over this ceremony for Jim today. First off, I'd like to start off with offering our condolences to the entire Brandon family on the passing of Jim's father, Thomas Brandon, passed away late yesterday. So our hearts go out to all of you, and you'll certainly be in all of our thoughts and prayers. It's a bittersweet day anytime someone who, after giving several decades of service to our community, to service in public safety, to putting on a badge and going out and confronting danger every single day, it's bittersweet when we have to say goodbye. We're very happy for Jim and Debbie and their family, but yet we're sad that we're not going to see our friend and our colleague every single day. Jim, I'd like to call on you to introduce your family and friends that are with us today.
So, it's my wife Debbie, my son Tom, my daughter Katie, stepdaughter Sam, granddaughter Ella, my sister Shelly, and her husband Ernie, my brother Rick.
Super. Welcome, everyone. I'd also like to introduce Assistant City Manager Victor Cardenas, who's with us today. Jeanette Handy from our Community Relations team. Thank you all for making the trip over and recognizing. It's nice to see some retirees here. Steve Patterson retired as a police officer. Ramon Alvarez, one of our former fire captains, also retired. And I didn't see anyone else, but it's really great to see everyone come together. I'd also like to introduce some of our other senior staff. Assistant Chief Eric Zinzer, who oversees all of our uniform operations. Assistant Chief Scott Batens, who oversees our support services. And the two ladies in the back who really kind of run everything here. Pat Couchy and Renee Landis. Pat's our budget analyst and Renee is our administrative assistant. And everyone from police and fire in this room know they're the ones that run and keep this organization with the glue that holds it together. So thank you. And we have Al Patterson, our communications manager. Thanks, Al, for also coming. Just a little bit about Jim. He began his law enforcement career with the Detroit Police Department back in 1995 after earning his Bachelor of Science degree in Mechanical Engineering from the University of Michigan, Dearborn. Fortunately for us, after a couple short years with the Detroit Police Department, Jim joined our team here in Novi in December of 1996. If I'm not mistaken, I was a detective back then, yes. And we had lunch together at Moe's on 10 on the very first day when they brought us in. You know, we knew Jim was someone special back then, and we knew that he was going to make an indelible difference here in the city of Novi. He was recognized early on in his career as someone who always had an attention to detail, who was very thorough, and he was also recognized as an informal leader. And that thoroughness and attention to detail are two of the characteristics which have truly defined him throughout his policing career here in Novi. Whether it was working on a community policing project that he initiated, an investigative report, or always being just committed to excellence, Jim was always known by his colleagues as sympathetic and thorough, dependable, and precise. Probably the things that not only came from earning that mechanical engineering degree, but also the way that he treated people. I can unequivocally tell you, Jim was a model on how to treat people with dignity and respect. And like we say, he treated every single contact as that opportunity to build public trust. One very notable call for Officer Brandon was when he responded to a local extended stay hotel in March of 2004 for a frantic female who was speaking broken English and indicated there may be a dead body in her room. Jim and his partner made contact with her. She keyed them into her room, and eventually she was telling them that there's dead bodies in several large black stacked suitcases in the room. Insisting that there was a dead body in the room, Jim and his partner opened the bags and eventually located $3.2 million in illegal drug proceeds. This kicked off what many of us know in the Novi Police Department as Operation Falling Star, one of the largest narcotic marijuana distribution organization and money laundering organizations that the state of Michigan has ever seen. And fortunately, we had Jim Brandon and Eric Tapia who responded to that. A call that in many other communities may not have been answered or may have been just simply blown off with no additional follow-up. They recovered $3.4 million in that room. We found evidence of a home down off Novi Street and Allen Street where the suspects had rented another home. We found another $1.6 million in cash in that home later that evening. All told, we spent over 11,000 investigative hours working with our partners from the Drug Enforcement Administration, the FBI, and the Internal Revenue Service. And we ended up seizing over $15 million in cash, 25 tons of marijuana, and we indicted well over 38 individuals, none of which ever saw a courtroom in the United States. They all either pled guilty or have not been located, had not been back to Mexico. But that all started as a result of Jim Brandon there. And that $15 million was not repatriated back to the southwest border and turned over to the Sinaloa cartel, who was running the operation. And that's a great testament to Jim and the thoroughness that he and Eric Tapia did on that March afternoon. During his career, as I said, Jim continued to touch the lives of many of our residents, our business owners, and he built trust and he built community partners. He truly embraced the Novi Police Department's vision statement of partners with our community. And community-oriented policing has just been one of Jim's most notable achievements. In 2010, the Novi Police Department implemented a program called the Data-Driven Approach to Crime and Traffic Safety, or DDACS. And this initiative draws together the scientific and statistical data that shows there's a direct correlation between where traffic crashes occur and where crimes occur. Using temporal and spatial analysis, fancy words for time and location, we've been able to reduce Part 1 crime in many locations throughout the community by upwards of 75%. Like his other assignments, Jim Brandon embraced this initiative and regularly volunteered at our team briefings to patrol the identified DDACS areas. In 2014, his efforts yielded 220 traffic stops, 30 arrests, and 7% reduction in the traffic crashes in the DDACS zones he was patrolling. His efforts earned him the Community Policing Award that year. Not slowing down from 2014, the following year, Jim was nominated as our Novi Police Officer of the Year for his sustained community policing efforts. He continued his laser-like focus for his patrol area in 2015, where he accounted for 25% of all officer-initiated activity, resulting in over 250 traffic stops, 32 arrests, and all the while visiting 113 of our schools that very same year. Many of you will recall the Sandy Hook shooting in Connecticut back in 2012. A month after that, we started a new initiative here in the city of Novi where we were going to put our police officers inside of the schools. We didn't want them just driving in the parking lots. We want them inside talking to the principals, talking to the teachers, talking to the children, introducing themselves to the facility staff. Any of the officers know in this room that if you go on a bomb threat, the best person to know what looks out of place in that school is usually the janitor or the facilities person. And Jim took this on 110% like he does everything. We got pushback from some of the principals in the schools. Those would eventually be principals that would call me and say, hey, I haven't seen Jim Brandon, or I haven't seen Scott Tews, or I haven't seen Steve Patterson. Can you have them come back and patrol our area? Jim built a very, very strong relationship with the schools. His name actually became embedded in the hallways at Novi Woods Elementary because Principal David Asher would call me and say, you know, the teachers, the bus drivers, the students, the parents, the PTO, they all look forward to seeing Jim. Jim would regularly park his car and position it near the drop-off and would greet many of the parents and many of the young people as they're showing up for school. The law enforcement officers in the room will tell you, statistically, you don't have shootings at schools where you have police officers inside or you have marked vehicles out front. And I'm a firm believer that's one of the reasons we have not had to deal with some of the tragedies that we've seen in Oxford and other communities throughout our country. Jim clearly built that strong bond to ensure their safety, and that was our #1 goal. Build the relationship and keep all these young people safe. Since 2002, Jim has made over 600 visits. And that's not a drive through the parking lot, that's getting inside the school, saying hi to the principal, talking to the kids, talking to the staff, making sure everything's okay, and building that trust and confidence in the safety that these men and women so bravely provide. His awards and community recognition clearly outline everything he's done throughout his career. On August of 2013, the department responded to a residence for a suicidal subject who was inside his home with a loaded shotgun and a knife. Officers set up a perimeter like they always do, and Jim Brandon established phone contact with the individual. He became the lifeline that we used to encourage that individual not to take his own life. And within a couple hours, as Jim was talking to him, he was able to walk out under his own power, unharmed, without injury, without incident, and we were able to get him the psychological treatment thanks to Jim and his down-to-earth and his compassion and respect that he showed that individual. In October of 2020, Jim assisted the Novi Fire Department with a medical call in the Beach Walk apartment complex in the north end of our community, resulting in a subject who was physically disabled and was unable to get his wheelchair around, and he was unable to get it up to the exterior porch outside of his door wall. Jim noticed that the resident was having a problem rolling his wheelchair off that raised patio, and he informed the apartment complex that we need to do something. They indicated they couldn't cover the cost because they had multiple residents. Jim ended up working with the apartment complex, drew up a schematic, got their approval, and contacted a foreman of a nearby construction company and told him about this concern. The foreman asked for Jim's plans, which he provided him, and his company agreed to build and install the ramp for that gentleman. Unfortunately, before Jim's plan came to fruition, the gentleman was transferred to an assisted living facility for his long-term care. But it was the thought and the action that counted, and that's a testament to what Jim did every single day he came to work. Jim always would go out of his way. We recently had an issue at one of our newer schools during the new school year, Meadowbrook Elementary, because so many parents are driving their children to school. We were seeing massive backups on Meadowbrook Road south of 13 Mile that were actually extending on to eastbound and westbound 13 Mile. Our school crossing guards were having an extraordinary time getting students and parents across the street. Jim took it upon his own to get a measuring wheel, met with the principal, went and surveyed the parking lot, and he was able to design a new traffic flow which allowed for 70 additional cars to queue in their parking lot area, thus eliminating the backup that we had on Meadowbrook Road. Again, that attention to detail. Jim's also worked with our traffic safety committee for enhanced signage to make sure the students, the crossing guard, the parents, and people walking, running in the area are safe. And looking at Jim's personnel file, there's well over 20 letters thanking him for the outstanding work that he's done, the service that he's provided so many different people over the years. Through all the letters, there's 3 themes that ring true: compassion, kindness, courageousness, and an officer who always had a positive impact on this community. After cutting his hand while helping a suicidal victim, the victim wrote to Officer Brandon, "Had it not been for your intervention, I would have died following a very short life. I can't begin to tell you how thankful I am for you." Jim's a decorated veteran of the Novi Police Department. He's earned 2 merit citations, a Perfect Attendance Award, the COVID-19 recognition, a Community Policing Award, and 3 unit citations. And as I alluded to earlier, also nominated as Police Officer of the Year in 2015. Jim, your colleagues, your family, and all your friends in the room salute you for your sustained success. For 25 years, you inspired us through not only your work ethic, your motivation, but most of all through your loyalty to keeping these citizens safe. You wore your badge with honor. You always did your best. You always did what was right, even when it wasn't popular. You never once wavered from the responsibilities and commitment that comes with our service and our duty. And like many of the families of our first responders here in the room, and our volunteers, our officers, our dispatchers, our command team, our firefighters, we understand the sacrifice all of you have had to make over the years. So to Debbie, Tommy, Katie, Samantha, everyone, we're sorry we took your husband and your father away from you on your birthdays, on your holidays, on sporting events, school events, special family events. And again, for that, we're truly sorry. But we would also like you to know that's a testament to what he's done here for 25 years. We also want to thank you for standing by him and supporting him, because everyone will tell you in the room, without their family and their friends supporting them, this job would be even more incredibly difficult than it has been. Jim Brandon's been a valuable member of the Novi Police Department for 25 years. His commitment, his dedication, his sustained service will be significantly missed. I'm hopeful Jim will now have more time to do what he likes, to do, because I know he's loved serving this community for the last 25 years. Jim, please come forward. In appreciation, Officer James Brandon, recognized for 25 years of dedicated service to the city of Novi, retired with distinction January 15th, 2022. Congratulations, sir.
Jim is a small testament of the appreciation by the community, from city council, from city administration. 25 years is nothing to shake a stick at. You've been through 9/11, you've been through a blackout in our region, you've been through the pandemic. It's been an unbelievable career, and as a small testament, we have small tokens of our appreciation from the community for your long-term service. Tile and a great pen to write the chief and all those love letters after you leave. So thanks so much. Appreciate it. Take care.
You can take your mask off, if you like.
I didn't prepare anything. Just want to say thanks to everybody. Gonna miss the people here. I will enjoy my time off. Thanks.
One of the things I always liked about Jim, I had a little informal nickname for him. What was it?
Smiley.
Smiley. Anytime I would ever run into Jim Brandon, some of these people in the room don't get a smile on their face when I run into him in the hallway. Okay? Jim would always get this ear-to-ear grin. So I think for the last 20-some years, that's all I've called him, is Smiley whenever I run into him. But it's difficult if you're around here for several decades, like many of us have, and many people in the room have, when you see someone like Jim who's moving on, it's very near and dear to you. Again, like I started out, it's bittersweet. We are so happy for him that he's going to be able to enjoy retirement. I suspect he's not going to have much downtime real soon. I think he's probably going to find a new endeavor, and I have every confidence he will. But we're very, very happy for him. Sad that we're not going to see him, but happy for him. So congratulations, Jim. That concludes our ceremony today. We have cookies, coffee, water. Please take a moment to recognize Jim, and thank you all for coming. Thank you.